Good morning to all. So today we are going to discuss electrical conductance of solution. Now earlier we have discussed and we all know very well that the electrical conductivity of any solution is directly proportional to the number of ions in that solution. I mean, if a substance which tend to dissociate in its when dissolved in water found to be good conductor in that dissolved state. Now few approaches related to this. So first of all we do discuss what conductivity. We all know very well Ohm's law. So long as the physical state of conductor remains the same, then the ratio of potential difference to the current remains same, and what we call that as a resistance. Thus one can say, according to Ohm's law, R is equal to V upon I, where V is the potential difference and I be the current. And remember, so its unit of resistance is Ohm. So it is expressed in ohms. Now very important thing, electrical conductance. Electrical conductance. Now electrical conductance is the reciprocal of resistance. First of all, that is to be noted. So G is equal to 1 by R. So electrical conductance is a reciprocal of what? Resistance. And what happens with the resistance of any conductor? Remember, it depends on the number of things. So resistance of conducting material is directly proportional to the length of that wire or material and inversely proportional. I mean, resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section of that material which is conducting the current. Thus, on account of these two, one can write in this way: R is proportional to L by A, and if we take the proportionality constant rho, then this can be given as R is equal to rho L upon A, where rho is resistivity. Now as far as resistivity is concerned, how can one interpret this? So remember, rho can be given as, so rho is equal to R A by L. Thus if area of cross section is 1 meter square and length is supposed to be 1 meter, then rho is equal to R. What it means? It means that resistivity is nothing but a resistance of conductor having unit length and unit area of cross section. That is to be noted. Another thing, as far as conductivity is concerned, so conductance, first of all, so conductance is greater if area of cross section is greater, and conductance is inversely proportional to, no doubt, length of the material conducting electricity, or one can say in simple manner, length of the wire. So these two things can be given as G is proportional to A by L, and if we take a proportionality constant, then this can be given as G is equal to K A by L. Now K is conductivity. If we consider unit area and unit length of the conducting wire, then G is equal to K. So what it means? Conductivity is nothing but conductance having unit length and unit area of cross section. Another very important thing, as resistance and conductance, we have already seen that conductance is reciprocal of resistance. Thus conductivity K is reciprocal of resistivity also. These are the basic interpretation which must be known. Now a very crucial thing is the molar conductivity. Molar conductivity, which is represented by lambda. Now remember, if we consider two different electrolytes dissolved in water producing different solutions, but the conductivity recorded differ for sure. We know very well, conductivity depends on the number of ions present in the solution, and electrolytes can be weak or strong. If electrolyte is stronger one, then no doubt it record higher conductivity as it dissociated completely. But as far as weak electrolytes are concerned, those are dissociated in feeble manner, producing less number of ions. Therefore, conductivity recorded is lower one. Then how can we compare the conductivities of two electrolyte solution? No, one can't do that in that manner. So, to bring about the comparison in between the conductivities of two different electrolytes, this term got introduced. So, what is molar conductivity then? That is very interesting and important thing. Now, in this case, consider solution having 1 mole of electrolyte in it, and in that solution do place 2 electrodes and place 2 electrodes, and remember distance between those 2 electrolytes must be 2 electrodes must be 1 centimeter. Place 2 electrodes 1 centimeter apart, and then pass electric current and record conductivity. Remember, the conductivity whatever recorded can be the molar conductivity of that electrolyte. Now again, one thing to be noted, molar conductivity, as far as molar conductivity is concerned, we are damn interested in 1 mole. Now, another big thing, molar conductivity is the conductivity, I mean electrical conductivity divided by the concentration. Thus, one can say lambda is equal to K by C, where K is conductivity and C is the concentration. And remember, molar conductivity is expressed, I mean unit of molar conductivity can be the ohm inverse, centimeter square, mole inverse. In this way one can express the molar conductivity. Now if C is the concentration, if C is concentration in mole per liter, that is, one can say C by 1000 mole per cubic centimeter, then the value, I mean volume so obtained, I mean volume with which, volume of that solution with which we are working will be, volume will be no doubt 1000 divided by C. And we know very well, we are dealing with a solution having 1 mole, thus C is equal to 1 by V, where V is supposed to be the volume of solution. Then one can also write lambda is equal to what? K into V. And if volume comes this, then lambda can be 1000 into K upon C. So, in this way one can calculate molar conductivity if conductivity and concentration are known to us. Now, very important discussion, point of discussion is the factors which affect conductivity and molar conductivity as well. So, our priority is the effect of concentration. So, first of all, we are going to discuss variation of conductivity with concentration. Now we know very well that conductivity of any solution is proportional to number of ions in that solution. So ultimately, if we increase concentration of the solution, that lead to the increase in number of ions, and hence conductivity goes on increasing. So one would say that conductivity is directly proportional to concentration of solution. Now if we are working with the solution of strong electrolyte, then we know very well that strong electrolytes are dissociated completely, up to greater extent, producing large number of ions. Thus increase in concentration of the solution of strong electrolyte record in a hike in the conductivity is recorded. And as far as weak electrolytes are concerned, we know very well that weak electrolytes are not dissociated completely. Thus, no doubt, with increase in concentration, conductivity of the weak electrolyte solution also increases, but the increment recorded is not that much great. When we compare with what? Strong electrolytes. So bottom line is, with increase in concentration, conductivity seems to get increased. Now another crucial and very important thing is the variation of molar conductivity. Now it is most important. Variation of molar conductivity with concentration. Earlier we have discussed that molar concentration, that is lambda, is equal to K by C. Thus we can say that lambda is equal to K into V. From this it is concluded that if we dilute the solution, so due to dilution what happens? It facilitates the ionization, and thus there increases the number of ions. And remember, as far as molar conductivity is concerned, we are damn interested for 1 mole. We don't have to do with rest of the amount. So we are concentrating 1 mole of electrolyte. So on dilution, that 1 mole of electrolyte undergo ionization, and due to which number of ions seems to get increased, which lead to the hike, increment in the molar conductivity. So it is evident from this relation what it says, that the molar conductivity increases with increase in dilution. Again, what it means? Molar conductivity decreases with increase in concentration. So remember, if concentration is increased, then molar concentration seems to get decreased. And if dilution is increased, no doubt with dilution concentration seems to get decreased, and hence molar conductivity recorded will be higher. Now dilution up to what? Remember what happens when electrolyte solutions are diluted. So upon dilution, especially we are dealing with strong electrolyte. We will discuss strong electrolyte first of all. If that solution is diluted by allowing solvent in it, then there is a certain hike, I mean increase in molar conductivity reported first of all, and later after reaching that extreme level, I mean the molar conductivity approaches maximum and then curve remains stagnant. Afterwards, if at all you will add solvent to that solution, that added solvent will not cause any difference. I mean it will not increase the molar conductivity furthermore. Remember, that very stage is known as infinite dilution. And molar conductivity reported at that very stage is known as molar conductivity at infinite dilution. So, molar conductivity at infinite dilution, that is lambda naught, or one can say molar conductivity at zero concentration. So what is infinite dilution? So take an example, take any solution, now add solvent to that in order to dilute it. Earlier we have discussed that due to addition of solvent, I mean due to dilution, molar conductivity increases and it reaches the maximum, and after approaching that maximum value, a stage comes where further added solvent, I mean further dilution will not cause any difference to the molar conductivity, and that very stage is known as infinite dilution or zero concentration. And the molar conductivity reported is the molar conductivity at infinite dilution, that is lambda naught. Now remember, Kohlrausch was a worker who related, Kohlrausch related molar conductivity and concentration of solution. So Kohlrausch suggested a relation which can be given as lambda is equal to lambda naught minus a root c. Now where a is nothing but the constant, lambda is the molar conductivity, and lambda naught is molar conductivity at infinite dilution or zero concentration, and c is the concentration. Now one can plot for this. So lambda, this is molar conductivity, and with increase in dilution, first of all molar conductivity goes on increasing and reaches up to maximum, and at that very level the molar conductivity, I mean maximum molar conductivity reported will be the molar conductivity at infinite dilution. And as far as strong electrolytes are concerned, for those one can draw in this manner, and remember this is for root c, I mean we are plotting lambda to lambda naught values against root c. So this curve is for strong electrolytes, strong electrolytes. So what happens in case of strong electrolytes? As we dilute the solution, first of all, though due to dilution molar conductivity increases stagnantly, and after reaching maximum no change can be observed, and that is called as molar conductivity at infinite dilution. But as far as weak electrolytes are concerned, so curve is not that much steady, I mean it differ from that of the strong electrolytes. Again, one thing to be noted, at infinite dilution ions of electrolyte move independently than their co-ion and contribute their own to the total molar conductivity. So this was the molar conductivity, and all the things, and effect of concentration on both, I mean conductivity and molar conductivity Thank you very much.